The number of digital music streaming services on offer in Australia has been growing rapidly over the past year. Commercial radio broadcaster ARN's answer to that is the popular US streaming service iHeartRadio. The iHeartRadio mobile app has already been downloaded more than 210 million times in the United States, and it's now available in Australia. For more on the opportunities and the challenges, we're joined by Kieran Davis, CEO of Australian Radio Network. Good to see you, Kieran. Thank you.
How are you?
Yeah, briefly just tell us how this iHeartRadio actually works as a service.
Well, it's a very simple service that's been broadcast, if you like, to the mainstream Australia. So, if you like, it combines the power of all our radio stations as an aggregator and combines it with a customised radio platform. And the customised radio platform, what we've seen from our research is that our listeners really like it because it's simple, it's easy to use, it's uncomplicated, and it actually means that what we can do is we can listen to our radio station, and you can actually do customised radio without having to move between the two. So it's a very simple platform.
It has been available on the web itself earlier in the year, but you've just brought out the app now for mobiles.
We launched on desktop about 5 weeks ago, and today is the mobile launch.
And you did bring it forward, didn't you, that launch?
Yeah, so we've been working very hard to try and develop it quickly. But we do know that in Australia, it's really going to take off from today because Australia, as you know, has the highest mainstream smartphone penetration in the world. And our learnings from the States tell us that 60% of listening is done via mobile. So today really marks the start of the launch of the platform.
Now, is it important for a radio company? You're one of the biggest broadcasters here to be in this space. We've got DMG, have got a connection with Audio. Songel is partnership with Southern Cross Stereo.
Yep.
So did you need to be there?
Absolutely, we did. But I think the power of iHeartRadio, from the learnings that we've had in the United States, which it launched 2 years ago, is that it's extremely complementary when we use it in the right way. So, for instance, people listen to radio at a certain time of the day when they want to, know what's going on in the world. They want to wake up to their breakfast show after 8 hours of sleep, and they want to know what the gossip is, the entertainment. But there are also times of the day where they want to shut the world out, and they want to listen to their music collection. So we've given them an easy-to-use platform where they don't have to switch between the two.
Mm. So the upside is you're in a space that your competitors are in, but what's the upside for the actual radio broadcasts themselves in terms of whether you actually take away radio listeners and just spread them thinner, if you like?
Correct. I mean, that's the argument that we're having with all the clients at the moment. Yeah. It's absolutely complementary, and the learnings that we've had from the States is that online listening to the current radio stations has doubled in the last 12 months, and that people are still listening at breakfast, at morning time, at drive time, but it's the off-peak times when people don't necessarily listen to a lot of radio that the customised part really kicks in. So evening time, weekends, if you're going to the gym, if you're having people over, people can just put on the iHeartRadio. And when I mentioned mainstream, people who are niche music lovers actually really love the likes of Spotify and those sort of streaming services because they know music and they're able to download 200 or 300 songs and pick from them. This product doesn't do that. This is very simple. You put in the name of the artist or a song you want, and actually the algorithm and the technology we have behind it picks the song for you.
Now, you're not the first player in the space here, but you have been able to, I guess, use the learnings for Clear Channel in the US. What's it done for their radio business over there?
Oh, it's transformed it. So, I mean, they've moved into the events business as a result of that. But as I say, they've doubled live listening to their radio stations. And for us, what we're seeing is that even in the first 4 weeks, listening to our stations has grown by 20%. And the real advantage for us is that it actually means that we're going to really target the under 30 audience, which, as you know, ARN doesn't traditionally have a footprint in that market. So it means that between our younger audience, our mixed network and our classic hits network, that actually now we've got a suite of products from 15 to 55, and that's proving very attractive to advertisers. So
does it move, by you doing the same thing in Australia, do you move into that event space? And the same, is it expecting kind of a replica of what they've done in the US to do here as well?
I think getting the likes of Paul McCartney and Queen and Elton John in Australia at the one time is going to prove challenging.
So, but that's
come on, you're up for the challenge. Sure.
But I think down the road it is.
Kind of got me excited there. That's all.
But certainly the next 6 months are going to be all about driving registrations, and we're using our radio stations quite heavily to promote the service. Over the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've been giving away tickets to go to Las Vegas next week for the iHeartRadio Festival. And as I say, we'll be really using the under 30 audience for the Edge in Sydney to really drive home that younger audience recruitment.
And are there opportunities for advertisers?
Yeah, absolutely. And so the last 3 or 4 weeks.
How does the advertising work on that streaming service?
And very cleverly, what we've done is we've actually really integrated with our on-air suite of assets. So, you can get a package whereby you can be on the digital platform, but we combine that with the power of radio. And I think it's really important to understand that the iHeartRadio brand in the States has been built through radio. So 200 million app downloads, 60 million registered users. 6 million Facebook likes, higher than Pandora and Spotify. That's all been built by using their radio assets, and that's really important.
Will we see an advertiser here initially?
So we're actually delighted to announce Hoyts Entertainment have signed up as an initial launch sponsor. And the great complementary partnership that we have with that is that they've got about 1.5 million visitors per month to their sites. So there's great cross-promotional opportunities there as well.
Are advertisers aware of how the streaming services are affecting the radio businesses overseas? Because you're obviously mounting quite a case that it helps the business and you're going to get more exposure.
Yeah.
Is this something they understand? Or are you
Similar
really
to yourself, the first question is it going to take away?
Yeah.
But actually, you know, the joy of working with a Clear Channel, an international radio partner with a platform like this, is that we're able to give them real hard data in terms of how the service is going. And the statistics do show that live listening to radio stations is up, that listening to this customised service is up at off-peak times, and advertisers are clearly turned on by that because, you know, they're getting great success. So the subscription model is not there for us. This is easy. It's free to use. There's no subscription model. There's no ad revenue model. So it's a very attractive product for mainstream Australia.
Kieran, before we let you go, how's the radio year been for you guys? I mean, the APN News and Media results indicate that you've had a pretty good year. You're biggest profit contributor in the group at the moment.
We're travelling well, and I think that's a culmination of 2 or 3 years of really hard work being put into the business. So the half year, we're ahead of market from a revenue share perspective. Our EBITDA is up 14%, which is very strong. But we continue to reinvest back in marketing, in new product services, in the likes of iHeartRadio. And I think it's really important that for our business that we continue to attract great talent, continue to market to them and actually grow our business that way, as opposed to some media companies who may have to cut back. We're actually continuing to invest.
Do you think the new government makes a difference to the advertising outlook?
I think what it'll do is certainly give a little stability. What we found from an advertiser perspective was that there was an unwillingness to commit to advertising, certainly over the last 2 or 3 months. And already this week we've seen sort of the pipeline to the year-end increase and being signed off, and that's a good thing.
Just in the last 4 days?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So you're quite optimistic about the outlook then, at least for the short term?
Yeah,
so
we're well positioned. We've got a good pipeline. We're looking strong, and we're continuing to see growth in the next 4 months.
Optimistic story. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Kieran Davis, as Chief Executive of ARN. Stick with us on Media Week. Coming up, all the latest TV ratings with James Manning.